or XRP go into an index product like CoinDesk 5, you're immediately starting to kind of break the bonds of Bitcoin only.
Matt, crypto goes mainstream. The Commodities Futures Trading Commission announcing the launch of the first government-supervised crypto trading platform.
You will get another up to 4% back in XRP. So you could be earning up to 10% back in XRP every month. So
we have talked to a handful of fund managers that have launched XRP ETFs here recently, all of which have been very successful.
They try to shake me out, but I was born ready. Dropping down the price, then I be getting plenty. They want all your bags and they want all of them empty.
Please wake up, folks, before it's too late. Is the deadline approaching? Also, uphold more ways to earn on your XRP. First, we got XAI crypto. 2.3 trillion in liquidity could flow into XRP, says Franklin Templeton. Welcome back to some more Moon O'Clock news, good glitches. And as always, nothing in this video is financial or investment advice. Please always do your own research. XRP currently right around $2.02.
We have talked to a handful of fund managers that have launched XRP ETFs here recently, all of which have been very successful. Do you think we're at a phase now where the institutional validity that's being put out there within Wall Street, along with the demand that's coming from both institution and retail, has this started to step XRP up to the level of what's happening in the Bitcoin and ETH ETFs?
I think that we're moving in that direction, right? I think that there is a very interesting story playing out around stablecoins. XRP is one of the only chains that also has its own stablecoin, right? The RLUSD. And I think that that adds a new element to what they might be able to do in terms of building business around the chain. Don't forget, I think one of the most exciting prospects of these new rails is going to be the vast increase in the number of computer-to-computer transactions that are going to start to occur as we see more people get comfortable with Web3 models, right?
Yeah.
And so I think that, you know, when you have your own stablecoin and you've got this chain that is already a public chain that has an independent verification network operating around it, this starts to become, I think, a pretty interesting business case, which is why we've been looking to partner with and doing more with Ripple over the last couple of years. Don't forget, they had some challenges here in the U.S. while that lawsuit was on.
Sure.
And outside the U.S., they've been continuing to build their business dramatically. You know, we operate globally, so we've been engaged with them in Asia for some time, and now we're seeing that start to spread out to more regions of the world.
Subject view, CFTC just approved Binomial as America's first federally regulated exchange for leveraged crypto spot trading, which launches next week.
Matt, crypto goes mainstream. The Commodities Futures Trading Commission announcing the launch of the first government-supervised crypto trading platform. It allows Americans to instantly buy, sell, and finance digital assets. Fox Business's Darren Botello live in Washington with all the details. Darren, good morning to you.
Hi, good morning, Maria. Of course, right now, as we all know, you can buy and sell crypto online already, but this is the first time, like you said, a spot trading platform is getting the full backing of the federal government. So why does this even matter to investors that the CFTC is backing this new Binomial platform? These other platforms are legally operating, but here's the catch, Maria. They're often called the Wild West. Basically, it's buyer beware. We've seen this with the collapse of FTX and customers eventually losing out on huge profits they would have had their money stayed safe in the market. They would have had it. Now with this Binomial platform, there are stricter standards for transparency, security, and consumer protection to prevent an FTX-style collapse. We spoke exclusively with acting CFTC Chairman Caroline Pham ahead of this new platform going live.
Not only do we want Americans to come back home and to be trading here where they know that they have the protections that they deserve, but again, that means that American companies that are involved in the crypto industry, they're going to want to build here. They're going to want to invest here. They're going to want to hire here. So this is overall a net benefit to the economy.
And Binomial tells us ahead of their announcement, the actual launch of the platform is set for next week.
Caroline D. Pham says Americans deserve safe U.S. markets as an alternative to offshore platforms. Now you can trade spot crypto on CFTC registered exchanges. Innovators can finally come home and build, invest in, hire in America. Where's XRP, did he say a few years ago? XRP thinking crypto.
Man, everybody wants to know, how did you get the XRP ticker symbol? That's prime real estate right there.
All credit goes to Hunter Horsley. You know, our CEO at Bitwise, a few years ago, you have to reserve these tickers. So you have to petition the New York Stock Exchange or NASDAQ that you want to reserve these tickers, that you're planning to launch an ETF related to that ticker. And then you have to prove that you're planning to do that. You have to show momentum in that direction. And we look back in our archive, it was a few years ago, Hunter told Teddy that we wanted to reserve this because we knew we were marching in the direction of XRP. So really excited to have that ticker. You know, the ticker's not everything, but it's an important thing. And obviously that is the iconic ticker. So it was great to have that for launch.
Ali G, it was never Bitcoin breaking the bonds of Bitcoin, tokenization, interoperability, privacy, smart contracts, DeFi. Please wake up, folks, before it's too late. The deadline is approaching.
Even at this table where you just look into, go deeper into Ethereum, go into Litecoin or HBAR or XRP, go into an index product like CoinDesk 5, you're immediately starting to kind of break the bonds of Bitcoin only and starting to release yourself from some of that kind of macro contained investment thesis and starting to participate in some of these growth stories.
Yeah. I would love to add, that's exactly where the conversation is with our investors, getting more sophisticated. It starts with Bitcoin, then Ethereum, and then so many other things, privacy, faster blockchains. I would add things like Chainlink, very topical for our investors today, a kind of critical infrastructure provider for tokenization, for decentralized finance. Almost impossible to imagine those use cases taking off without Chainlink playing a huge role. So exactly these types of conversations are where we're at with our investors.
Yeah, and interoperability, such as Axelar, which is probably one that nobody's heard of, but they're building interoperability across many chains right now.
Yeah, it seems to be interoperability, security, governance were the key themes I saw emerge this year for sure.
And privacy, just reiterating on how important it is for public blockchains to have compliant regulatory privacy within the regulatory frameworks. That's being innovated right now. We're building infrastructure and tools to have tokenized assets be able to trade publicly and privately. And that's table stakes for institutions. So all of that is coming right now. All of those seeds were planted this year, and we're going to see them come to fruition this year.
Uphold Nancy Beaton breaks down how we're building more ways to earn XRP too. Our community. Watch a free interview with Beyond Broke.
So if you also want to direct deposit part of your paycheck into Uphold so that you can either spend it on the card or trade, you will get another up to 4% back in XRP. So you could be earning up to 10% back in XRP every month. So we hear the group that says, you know, we really want to be able to earn on XRP, right? True believers in the community. So, you know, we constantly hear, how do I earn more? How do I earn on? How do I earn on? Some really good news that we have. We're going to be bringing to market in fourth quarter a partnership with the XRP protocol, the Exactly protocol. What it will allow users to do is that they can lend their assets to a pool and they can earn yield on those assets. They can also contribute their assets and get a credit card and spend against those collateralized assets. So you don't have to spend your assets or liquidate your assets. You can earn yield or you can spend against them. And this will include XRP. So we're going to trial it in the fourth quarter and test it. And then we'll roll it out in fourth quarter to the majority of our users.
What type of rates? Because I know people are going to ask me after this. What are we looking at there? Did you all define that, or is it still kind of up in the air?
Yeah, it is classically a DeFi lending pool. So the rates can change, but they are definitely on the lending side, a way to earn yield that you haven't been able to.
And we got one from Stellar Or. Crypto can and should fit seamlessly into the existing user experience and ultimately improve it.
The end user should not need to really understand how crypto works. And that means like hiding the wires, and it means that the experiences that they are used to in terms of how they use a Venmo or how they use an Uber or how they use an everyday app that is part of their life. If there's crypto in it, they should not have to understand it in order to use it, right? And I think that's why we've talked a lot about stablecoins and how it's crypto's killer app, because people can understand things that are denominated in dollars.
And the longer they take, the higher we keep climbing. Appreciate you stopping by, tuning in for another Moon O'Clock news update. And as always, nothing in this video was financial or investment advice. Check the links in the description. Smash them likies and subscribies on the way out. We'll see you at the tippy top. Later, glitches.
Started. We just getting it 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 started now. Hey. We just getting it started now. Hey. Bags going way up, way up, way up. On that rich, just getting dummy rich. We dummy rich. The best is yet to come and you missed the switch. 589 pumping in, it's not a glitch. We dummy rich. Whole family dummy rich, got dummy hits. Them prices blowing minds, feel like that gummy hit. The news was spreading lies and we went and did the opposite. They said it couldn't happen, now watch some prophets live. We was prophesizing like some prophets here. Looking like you ain't had a prize. Bitcoin maxi tears, defying the bags, climbing up a tier. Feel like Santa Claus stuffing bags when there's flying high. See you in